Listen to it 2, 3, 4, 40 more times and get more. This is what I am.
What happens is after you've had a day like this, where you've heard it and felt it on many levels of your being, now life's going to present itself to you in more meaningful ways. So words don't teach, but life experience in connection with them gives you really strong, stable footing. So a lot's going to even out right away.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I felt this incredible power.
Yeah, because you hadn't practiced thoughts that put the shield up. So it's nice that you remember that, and you do.
And no matter the circumstances of the childhood,
Yeah.
I knew I was supposed to be here.
Yeah.
And I recognized so very early the power of my thoughts and my words.
Yeah.
And despite the stuff
Yeah.
around me and the different people around me, I was very powerful. And but now I don't feel that.
Well, we know, and we know you know, but just the conversation about despite the people around is throwing resistance on the trail, as you recall that part of it too. In other words, there's a little bit of I overcame, I made it anyway kind of thing. And so just leave that part of it out. Just talk about the invincibility that you felt and the invincibility that you're eager to return to.
Okay. I felt incredible power and invincibility,
Yeah.
and drew and attracted great things and people into my space.
Yes.
And now as an adult, professionally, I'm in the zone. When I do the work I do,
Yeah.
I have no question. I know the answer comes every time, and a connection. But in terms of relationships,
Stop
I'm
just for a
not
moment.
doing what I did then.
Stop for just a moment and see if you can decipher the difference when you do your professional work and you know that feeling of being in the zone. What factors are different in the part of it that's working and in the part of it that doesn't feel like it's working? Is it mostly you and what you're doing, and with the other it's trying to control others? The reason we're asking is because that's what screwy with so many of you about relationships. In other words, if you're thinking about something that you're going to do, you can envision lining up with this idea and figuring out how to do it and do it. But with a relationship, suddenly there's another thinker involved, another thinker and another chooser involved, another thinker and another chooser who might be choosing something different than you want them to choose. And so you don't feel free to think. There's something about the co-creation that makes you think that they need to think like you do and they need to want like you do in order for it to work. But there's no distinction in the things that you think you're doing solely or singularly and the things that you're doing that include another person, because your power of influence is so significant when you tune to the vibration of who you are. We're just going to say these words really blunt. What they want or what they think they want has no relevance to the relationship that you want with them. We thought we'd hear a stronger gasp. What they think they want is not relevant. What you want is. But where it goes wrong for you is that you include what you think they think in your vibration, and then you're not in alignment with it either. So you're taking too much about what they're saying and what they're doing and what you think they're thinking. And a big percentage of the time, you're not even thinking accurately what they're thinking. You're just thinking what you think they're thinking based upon others who have been thinking. And so you're just making all kinds of stuff up as you throw all kinds of stuff on your trail that you don't need to do. And so we don't really want you to go to those people that you're co-creating in business with or co-creating in love with, whether they're family or lovers or employers or employees. We don't want you to actually go to them and say what you want and what you think is really irrelevant, because they won't like it and they won't understand it. But what you really want to say and mean is, I'm not letting what I think you think hinder what I intend to think. I'm getting so good at practicing what I intend to practice based upon one feedback and one feedback only. How does it feel? So it's just me and my source, me and my source. It's not me and my spouse or me and my lover or me and my kids or me and my employer or me, because those people are all nuts. I'm never going to get all of that into alignment. I'm never going to get them even to understand what I meant. How many hours do you spend just trying to get somebody to get you? Who can't get you? They can't get you. It's not their job to get you. It's their job to get them. Stop asking them to get you. And just in your own mind, think politely to them. Go ahead and just think as you want and do as you want, but it doesn't matter because I got this going on. And this will dominate. Alignment trumps everything, you see. And that's what you knew when you were first here, because you came in independently. The others tried to make you feel dependent on them, but you felt independent, even though you had very little reason to. You couldn't walk, you didn't have any teeth, you could hardly move around very well, but you felt invincible, you felt independent. You knew that life would nurture you, you see. It's not being dependent upon what others do for you that's hindering most people. It's being dependent upon what they think about you, or about what they think about what you want, that hinders you. Oh, we would so love it if you could just say to everyone, I love you so much and I don't care what you think. I love you so much, but I don't care what you think. What you think about me is bogus. What you think about me is distorted. What you think about me is your version of what you need me to be. But what you think about me is getting in my way. What you think about me is getting in my way.
Is there ever a reason to just cut line? When I was a child, I knew that person, their negativity or what have you, let me give that some space.
Well,
as an adult,
here's what we would say is anything that you need to do to feel better. It is easier to not think about someone if they're not right there. But most of you cut line and still think about them. You've cut the physical action line, but then you stand in explanation of why you left forevermore. Mm-hmm. And so you didn't really cut anything. Mm-hmm. In the same way that many people do sever the relationship and keep thinking about it, there are many people who could maintain the relationship and sever the dependency, sever the need for the approval. So you get into this high-flying place, and others who are in the high-flying place, they get you. This is not going to be a lonely world for you. Law of attraction is going to match you up with plenty who know what you know and want what you want and do what you do. In other words, you are not going to be lonely. But let law of attraction bring them to you. You weren't born to them. You weren't assigned to them in class. When you went to school, you weren't surrounded by them. A room like this is more like it because law of attraction gathered you here. So you'll find more who are compatible here. But don't try to live with this group. So much here you don't want to live with.
I believe in the best in people.
Yeah.
And it has been said that I will either cut line too quickly, but more often stay too long, expecting them to do what they say they will do or be what they say they are.
That's trying to be the path of least resistance for them. That's trying to compensate through your action and through your behavior. But when you get it that everybody has their own path of least resistance, everybody has their own guidance, everyone wants to feel good, and you just do what is your work, which is maintain your vibration and allow them to do the same. We want to say strong things like mind your own business. And mind your own business means not worry about what somebody else is thinking, even if they're thinking about you. Abraham, are you serious? You mean what they think about me is not any of my business? Yeah, exactly. What they're thinking about you is not any of your business, because what they're thinking about you has very little to do with you anyway. It has to do with the life that they lived before they got there. Mm-hmm. They come to you with a point of view, and they can't see you other than through that point of view. And if you care too much about how they see you, they will lure you away from your own guidance system. And their guidance is fickle. Haven't you noticed? They come and go and they come and go. Have you ever tried really hard to please someone? So you just stand on your head in as many ways as you can, and then they keep changing the game because They need you to continue to be different in order for them to feel good. That's truly what enabling is. And they're not serving you by demanding of you, but you're really not serving them by giving into it. Because you teach them, well, you can get me, you can control me so that you can feel better, but you can't control most of the world so that you can feel better. And so after a little while, you feel resentment, and that's when you want to cut ties, because you feel bound by the impossible. When somebody assigns you the task of pleasing them, the relationship cannot be long-lasting, because resentment will come fast, because you're not going to please them, not for very long. You just can't. So they're always looking for somebody else to please them. It's so free to say to people and mean it, I love you so much, leave me alone. I'm going to find my happiness, and I'm going to make lists of your positive aspects, and we're going to rendezvous together on the things that we each like best about each of us. But there's not one thing that you need to do differently for me. Not one thing. We would like you to make marriage vows with every single relationship that you have, and we want them to go like this. I like you pretty good. Let's see how it goes.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
If I could just remember it. I've heard it a million times. I've read it a million times.
How about this? I love you so much because I've trained myself to tune to the best of everything. And there's so much that's wonderful about you that I'm tuned to, that I feel such satisfaction in our co-creation. And by the way, you don't need to do anything different ever to keep me happy, because I'm happy independently of what you do.